All right, welcome to course review number 3. So again, try all the questions in the PDF that's posted on the website, and then this will be a take-up, sort of go over the answers really quickly. So these are not lessons, they're just reviews. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, find the equation of this line. So to find the equation of the line, we need a slope and a point. If we can get the slope and the y-intercept, it's even faster. So if we look here, this has a y-intercept of 0, 1. So that's good news. We found that pretty quickly. And then to find the slope, we need to have two easy to read locations. So this one looks pretty easy to read. And let's use this guy again, might as well. So if I change from 1 to 9, that is a rise of 8. And I'm going from 0 to 4, that is a rise of 8, a run of 4, which means my slope is 2. And if I bring those two pieces together, I know I would have y equals 2x plus 1. And there would be my slope. Voila. Okay, oops, got an extra slide in here. Let's move down to the next question. Okay, so for 3x minus 2y plus 8 equals 0, so that's the equation of a line. It's in a rearranged form. State the slope of a line that is parallel and a line that is perpendicular. So we've looked at one of these before. So the way this current equation is written is not particularly helpful. So we need to do a bit of work first. So we're going to take this expression and we're going to rearrange it into y equals mx plus b. So I can see that if I add 2y to both sides, I'm getting closer to getting the y by itself. And then if I divide everything by 2, I end up with 3 over 2 times x plus 4 equals y. Now this equation, even though the y is on the right hand side, that's still okay. It's still y equals mx plus b. It's still that format. So the slope for this equation is 3 over 2. So now we are looking for part number 1, we're looking for a line that is parallel. If we want to be parallel to that given slope of 3 over 2, then we would need a slope of 3 over 2. If we are looking for in part 2 a line that is perpendicular, we would need the negative reciprocal. So the negative reciprocal of 3 over 2 is negative 2 over 3. And there's the answers. Sierra earned a mark of 56 out of 74 on her math test. What is her mark as a percentage? So you'll remember that we're looking for parts and totals. So she has 56 out of 74. That's equal to some percent out of 100. So if we multiply both sides by 100, these cancel, and we can go 56 divided by 74 times 100, and we would get a percent that is equal to 75.7%. Okay, but oops, Mr. Childs made a mistake and the test was actually out of 70. How much did her mark change due to the mistake? So if we take the exact same total, 56, the mark she earned was 56, and we changed it to being out of 70, we can make the same process we just did. So instead of dividing by 74, we go 56 divided by 70 times 100, and her new mark is now an 80. But the question asked how much did her mark change. It didn't ask what her new mark was. It asked how much did it change. So in this case, her mark, so therefore, that's what 3 little dots means, therefore her mark changed almost 5%. Okay, it looks like 4.3%. So that's a good mistake that I made. It helped her out. James went to buy a t-shirt that was on sale. It was 30% off the regular price of $22. What was the final price James had to pay if he was shopping in Ontario? Okay, so there's some hidden information. The hidden information is 13% tax in Ontario. Okay, so we've done one of these before. So we have our regular price of $22. Our sale discount, we need 30% of $22. Oops, that's a funny equal sign. 22 times 0.3, so we have $6.60. Okay, is our sale or discount. That's not the new price though. Our sale price would be the 22 minus $6.60, which is $15.40. So that's actually our sales price. And then we need to find the tax. So we can take 13% times that new sales price and get $2 almost exactly. So our final cost is the $15.40 plus the tax of $2 equals $17.40. Okay, a math class had a ratio of 14 boys to 12 girls. What percent of the class was girls? What percent of the class was boys? Okay, you can do this cats, dogs, it doesn't matter, apples, oranges. We just needed two things that we could classify separately. So 14 boys and 12 girls. So now, what percent of the class was girls? So the important part with this is to remember that when you're dealing with ratios, okay, the total comes from taking those two values, the 14 and the 12, and bringing them together. So if we want to look at what percent was girls, we would say we have 12 out of 26, and we can times that by 100 to turn it into a nice easy percent. So 12 divided by 26 times 100, and we get 46.2%. Okay, now you could probably make some deductions here that the boys would have to be the remaining percentage to get to 100, but let's just do it anyways, so we've covered it. So if we do 14 out of 26 times 100, big surprise, 53.8%. Okay, so the key piece there is that total, okay, is the piece of information you need to deduce or bring together. Find the area of the following shape. Okay, so this is a composite shape, so you can see there's a couple things here. There is a square. There is two full circles. Okay, so when you're looking at something like this, it's nice to sort of make it as easy as possible. So we have the area of a square plus 2 area of circles. Okay, well the area of the square will be 10 squared, okay, plus 2 pi, and here's the tricky part. What is the radius of one of the circles? Well, the radius of one of the circles goes from here to here. Okay, the 10 centimeters that you're given is the diameter, so the radius in this case is 5. So we would put a 5 squared in there, okay, because the area of a circle is pi r squared. Okay, and then we would clean this up. So 10 squared is 100. 5 squared is 25 times 2, so this would be 50 pi. And then we can multiply and add those pieces together. 50 times 3.14 plus 100, and I would have 257 squared centimeters. Solve the following. Okay, so we have a one-step and a two-step equation here. Hopefully by now these are getting to be very comfortable. So to get the n by itself, we divide both sides by 6. N equals -6. And then over here, this is a two-step problem, so we have to add 12 to both sides. That leaves the 7x by itself and a 21 over here. And then we're going to divide both sides by 7. And we get x equals 3. Almost done for the day. Find the volume expression. Okay, so there's a couple connections here. This is a rectangular prism. So the volume expression is your length times your width times your height, or whatever dimensions you call. It's the 3 dimensions of the shape. Okay, so you could call depth or whatever is used. So if we look at this expression, we have a bunch of algebraic terms. Again, the order doesn't really matter. We just need to get all 3 of them to be multiplied together. Okay, so whether you call the 3xy height, width, or length, it doesn't matter. So we can't actually solve this for a number answer, but we can solve for an expression, which is why the question asked for an expression. So if we multiply these 3 parts together, I'm looking at 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to multiply x's together now, and if you need to, put the little 1s as placeholders on all of the single variables. So I have 1x, 2, 3, I have 4 x's that are multiplied together, and I have 3, 4, 5 y's that are multiplied together. So the expression for the volume of this rectangular prism is 6 x to the 4th, y to the 5th. Alright, we've done enough of these ones. Hopefully these are getting to be a little easier. Bob made $500 in 8 hours of work on a computer service call. Bob made $350 in 5 hours of work on a different computer call. These are pairs of information, and we've talked about the best way sometimes to solve these is to set up a little table, and to keep that information organized on your table is always a good strategy. Something like that. Okay, so does Bob earn a flat fee? Well, to figure out the flat fee, we need to know what our y-intercept is, so we need to work this problem backwards. What is Bob's hourly wage? Okay, we have enough information to do that. So if we work here, we have a change of 3 hours and a change of $150 in the dollar category. So the slope here would be a change of $150 over 3 hours, and we can reduce that to being just $50 an hour. Okay, so we have Bob's hourly wage. We're not quite ready to go for the equation, so we're going to work backwards now. Because we know this is $50 an hour, if I want to go backwards to 0 here, I have to change by 5 hours. So that means I have to change by 5 times 50, or $250 on this side, which leaves me with 100. So does Bob earn a flat fee? So the answer is yes. He earns a $100 flat fee. So if he shows up, he gets paid $100. So the equation would be dollars equals the slope multiplied by how many hours he works plus his flat fee. Okay, and if you want to do a quick test, you simply take 8, you substitute it in for t. 50 times 8 is 400. 400 plus 100 is the 500 he earns. Okay, determine x. So we have 2 parallel lines and a line crossing them. So there's a couple things we could do here. The key piece is to recognize this is co-interior. Okay, and if this is co-interior, then the 3x plus the x plus 20 has to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so we're using some geometry knowledge to be able to create an equation. Then we can collect like terms and solve for the unknown x value. I'm going to leave off a few steps here just for the interest of speed. So x would have to be 40 degrees, which means this one up here would be 120 and this one here would be 60, and if you notice, those two added together is 180. Find an area expression. So again, it says an expression, so you are not going to be able to come up with an answer. You're going to find an expression. So now the area of a trapezoid, if you looked on your formula sheet, it's the average of the top and bottom values times by the height. Okay, so this would be your A term, your B term, and that's your H term. So we're trying to find an expression. So our A term is x plus 4. Our B term is 2x plus 8. All of that is over 2. And then my height term is x. Okay, so I'm going to clean up inside the top bracket. So I'm going to do all of this first. So x plus 2x, that's a 3x. 4 plus 8, that's 12. All of that is over 2. And then we're going to multiply by x. Okay, so let's just extend this a little bit, and then our area expression, we can say it's 3 over 2 x plus 6, all times by x, and then we can finish with distributive property, multiplying that x into both terms, 3 over 2 x squared plus 6x. Now that's an expression for the area. You can't go any further unless somebody tells you what the x value is. So you're finished the problem. Okay, last one, solve. So again, we're going to need our distributive property on two separate locations. So this becomes 2x plus 6 minus 6x plus 12 equals 24. The mistake most people make is right there. Okay, they don't get the two signs together properly. Okay, now I'm going to collect like terms. 2x minus 6x is negative 4x. 6 plus 12 is 18. So I want to collect all of the things I can before I start working on both sides of the equal sign. Now I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. Negative 4x equals 6. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4 and get x equals negative 3 over 2, or negative 1.5. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that helped. Have a good day.